like we're going to give you clearance for so much episodes, and if it's great, we'll give you more. If not, and I think it was like it did well enough, but it just people loved it. But then he wanted to change, so he did that, and then he did Soul Eater Not, which Soul Eater is action. You have like deep story.
Wait, was that the one with two weapons
twists.
and one Meister?
Yeah, this is like it just got different.
3 girls,
it
right?
got to where Soul Eater Not was like it was more focused in the school, in the academy of Meisters and weapons.
Yes.
Weapons could also use weapons. Meisters could just fight. That was cool. I was like, I'm down for this. I'm ready. And then it was a slice of life love story.
This is exactly
anime
what it was.
with no action whatsoever. They was just in a world with people who had awesome powers, awesome abilities, awesome enemies to fight, but they were in school and they were in love. That is Soul Eater Not. If you're down for that, watch it. If you're not down for that,
it's a good side thing, but at least continue the good ones. You know?
Exactly. I watched like as soon as I finished Soul Eater, I found Soul Eater Not. I was like, here we go, and I watched like 4 episodes. Like it'll get better. It'll get better. Something's gonna happen. And nothing happens. They're just in love, and she's so afraid to talk to him. So guys, don't be afraid to talk to those girls. They're afraid of you. That was the message. So
what about you guys?
Yeah.
Do you have one, Sawyer?
It's hard. There's so many.
I was thinking about it, and I started to go a different direction, like slice of life, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you consider
That's what
Clanad hugely popular still? Because I feel like Clanad. You never seen Clanad?
I don't think I have.
feel like it kind of really... It's like a slice of life anime, but there's fantasy mixed in. There's a little bit of fantasy, and it's very much like... It hits you in the field. No,
yeah, that's not it.
NNAD at the end. Clanad. And it just like... I remember watching it, and it just really... It hit home for me. I don't know, because like the guy in the show, he ends up working on power lines and stuff, and like that's stuff that I did when I started working, and I very identified with
home,
like... And I feel like it has a lot of charm. I mean, a lot of people complain because like the animation, like a lot of the characters look the same, and I can see it.
It looks like one of
they
those
all look a lot of
Japanese dating
but the characters
games.
all have a lot of charm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good humor in it, and then there's some really heart-wrenching moments, and it's like...
Wait, is there a Switch game? Go down.
There's a Switch game. I had no idea there was a Switch game. I'm gonna have to get this Switch game and play it now. Because I like Clanad. But I feel like no one talks about it anymore. I feel like when I was first getting into Slice of Life, everyone's like, you gotta watch Clanad. It's so good. And I loved every minute of it. And then like I feel like no one talks about it anymore. I feel like it's just kind of like...
Well, obviously people were talking about it. It's a Switch game.
Well, it is a Switch game. So maybe I'm just completely wrong. And maybe it's just the people I've surrounded myself with. None of you guys watch a bunch of Slice of Life, so...
You're a slice of life guy, man.
I'm a slice of life guy. I like slice of life animes, and so I think Clanad needs more attention. That's all.
Okay.
There's really none that's like I feel like are like a must see.
Yuck on your yum, man. I'm all about it.
I mean, that's my guilty pleasure. Is like rom-coms.
April 14th.
So I like.
Yeah.
Pre-order April 14th,
I
y'all.
like rom-coms.
Pre-order
too.
it.
Is it coming out this year?
Oh,
Yeah.
there it
no,
is.
2020, right? Is that what it says? 2020.
2020.
It's already out.
It's out.
Oh boy,
I have to go buy the Clanad Switch game now.
it's probably sold out, man.
This episode is sponsored by.
Okay. All right. So what about you, Sawyer? Just one that it was just like, man, this was so good, but it came out with a lot of other good ones, and it just didn't get what it should have got.
It's okay. So it's hard for me because I like pick and choose. I don't like.
Sure.
I don't follow the seasons. I just kind of like I'll see something about a show and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. I'm gonna go look at that.
Yeah.
What was it called? I want to say it's like Faraway Paladin or something, but it's like
Faraway Paladin's great.
Which I don't know if it has a big
Isekai.
following. Yeah, but I do a lot of like D&D and like stuff, and I like the fantasy environment kind of stuff. So for me, like this person is raised by these super powerful beings who are like not necessarily like grooming him in the negative sense, but are like preparing him for the trials of the world that they have experienced as their life as like powerful adventurers and stuff. And it's very interesting. It's very cool because you see the perspective of people trying to prepare their kid essentially for life, and you see each person who specializes in something, there's basically 3 parental figures, and they all excel in their areas. So there's like a fighter / berserker guy, there's a cleric guy, and there's a wizard. And they essentially all have their own life lessons, their like goals and problem-solving situations, like how they handle situations. And so it's interesting to see how like the one guy kind of absorbs different aspects of each like figure.
Yeah.
But it's it was really cool. I watched it all in one sitting, but I want to see more of it. But it's like every time I ask people about it or like try to like chat with people about it, nobody else at least in our area has watched it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm just always like,
It's not getting.
I'm not sure if it's just like area based or if it was just like it didn't catch on and people didn't like it. But,
Another cool thing about
no,
it
it
is
looks
the
awesome.
slower progression.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not going to say the whole first season is training, but a lot of it is. And then
Yeah.
like maybe the last like quarter of season 1 or so is like it's going down. Like we're finding out like the motion, the things have been set into motion that these people were preparing me for. Like now I have to go deal with the challenge and like set out to the world like unguided, like on my own and figure out like how I'm going to do what needs to be done kind of deal.
he's not like a giant walking cheat code either. Like they teach him strategy. Like he's good.
His closest thing to a cheat code is being well-rounded.
Yeah.
Because he's got the magic experience, because he's got the fighting experience, because he's got like the healing understanding, and like he sort of develops the ability to not necessarily like switch fighting styles like
like, kind of
outright,
mix
but
them all
he'll
together,
lean one way or more. So like there's points where he's using magic to make himself lighter so he can fight and keep up with people who are faster than him. Or there's
Okay, that's pretty sweet.
like
I might
he's
have to- that's pretty cool.
instead
Look
of doing
this
like
up
an
right
oil
away.
slick, he makes like a mud slick to mess
yeah.
with people on the ground.
It's very
or-
strategic fighting.
Yeah.
Dude, the dragon.
but yeah, so
The dragon,
it's
And it looks beautiful.
it's
I
got
mean,
good.
Oh, the
Oh,
animation.
yeah,
Well
like I said,
done.
it looks
Like,
it looks
that's-
good. I enjoyed it. Like it's got good characters.
Character development's really good.
Got a couple cringe moments, but that's basically every anime.
Yeah,
Here
like-
and there, you got to slide it in. But like it's, I mean, it was good. It was interesting, but it's
And
slow in the
story's good too. Like the
Yep.
mysteries you find out
Oh,
with the parents and
beginning.
stuff.
The
and-
setup, like I'm so psyched for season 2. If there is going to be one, I don't know yet. I don't know.
I
if
think
it's been
there is.
confirmed. I haven't looked at it or anything yet. But
yeah,
when-
Faraway
yeah, when
Palette,
will it
season
happen?
2. Yeah.
But
I believe there's going to be a season 2.
But like I said, like the 10 or 12 people that I talked to about anime, nobody else has watched it yet. So I'm just like,
Now, what is this on?
do this.
Because I've never heard of it. I've never even seen it.
Crunchyroll has it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some various other apps that I may use have it.
but
Switch game.
Is there? Is it real?
this would actually make a super cool world
It-
for like an RPG.
It would.
But like I said, I feel like I got hooked on it really hard because I play D&D, and so it's
yeah,
like
it
interesting.
does have a lot of D&D aspects.
Okay.
but
Nah, it looks really good, man.
It is.
Thank you. I will be watching it for sure.
like I said, it's a little slow in the beginning. It ramps up really well. It's very interesting.
Got the book too. I might be reading it.
Oh
Reggie's
no,
gonna
there's
go
a
to
book.
book.
He's gonna read the book.
Reggie's going to know everything about
I'm gonna be
it.
like, I finished it. I saw how he dies. He's an old man. He was happy.
I have guesses.
Okay. Now, this is hard. It's hard for me, obviously, because there's a lot that I'm just like, oh, this is beautiful. This is amazing. Or that, that I just think just didn't get the hype it should have. But one that was completely buried for me is Yushiro and Tora. So this is one almost no one has
I
heard
watched
of.
this one.
Because
Send it to me and I watched
suggest
it.
it
Never seen
hard.
it.
I push it out so hard. So it's a newer one. I mean, it might have came out. I mean, I can look. Let's see.
It doesn't look like a newer
It's
one.
not that old, but the way that they do
The
it,
animation
it's like
looks
it's a
total 90s.
clean, beautiful kind of like Inuyasha meets
Yeah, very Inuyasha.
Like 90s Redux almost.
It is. It's like it's got that flavor. I mean, even if you see these pictures, but like it's a newer one. It's new. It's clean. You have your main character Yuichiro. So he
Wait,
and his
it says
grandfather,
1992,
of course.
1993.
That's hard to believe. I think that might be the old one.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a
I didn't
remake.
know
they,
there was
they
a
did
remake
it pretty, and it's pretty. Oh
It is.
boy,
It is.
it pretty.
It's pretty.
Yeah, definitely watch the newer one. But so you have your main character and his grandfather, of course. They live in a shrine. His grandfather is a spiritual exorcist that he thinks isn't that great. He's like, oh, whatever. Of course, just growing up, like, you're a sham. He goes off on a trip, leaves the kid in charge of the house. And
One day,
that's it. He goes, there's like a storage room in the back of the shrine, and he goes down there just doing whatever, and he finds this basically trapdoor that opens up, leads into this underground room. And there's a demon sealed to the wall with a spear like through his abdomen. And he's like, hey, man, take this out. And he's like, whoa, what's going on? He freaks out, runs away. But him opening the door, the sealed door, releases all of this like kind of demon miasma.
Yeah, it's
kinda
like
going
a demon energy.
Yeah. And it causes, lower, weaker demons to like come to it. It's calling them because they want to feed off of it.
All right, listen, if the grandpa had this, he kind of is a sham because you think he'd put some protection in place to prevent demons from being released
there
from
were
his basement?
protections.
He had his junk saved on top of it. Don't go in there. That's
No,
what he
there were
said. Don't go in there.
talismans.
There were
What about a
talismans.
There was talisman.
What about a padlock, man?
That's
Come on.
What is a padlock versus a talisman?
If I remember
Well, no,
correctly,
to
there were
keep people from
talismans
going
all
in.
over
He
the
still wants to
stinking
use his shed.
lid.
He's an official grandpa. You gotta get the weed whacker out. But no, it's just a whole long thing where he's got these two girls, the jock and the ditz, who love him. They're the neighbors who are all about him, and he's oblivious to it. And these miniature demons that are like drawn to this upper demon's power. Basically, they're swarming the house. They're attacking the girls. He freaks out. He pulls the spear out of this thing's chest to fight them. And of course, then it's like, you afraid of me, fool? I'm going to eat you. But one thing leads to another, and they become friends. But the cool thing about the spear, right? So the spear is like demonic itself. And the second that he touches it, he transforms. Like, he's got this short, scrubby hair with like a little rat tail, ponytail. But the second that he touches the spear, it kind of like pours all this demon energy into him, and he gets this like long, like flowing hair, 13-foot long hair, and is like outrageously strong himself. So that even in this moment where this demon's like, oh, I'm going to kill you now, he's like, no, you're not. Like, sit down, be a good boy. But it's outrageous. So he fights all these things, each episode. And then the way that they wrap it back around at the end of the story is just amazing. Like, he's fighting this essential like 9-tailed demon monster, but every person he was fighting against ends up being like a support character later on. Most older style things, but just the twists and the turns when you find out the true identity of the demon, when you find out like the true identity of those who, well, not the true identity, but the truth behind the spear and like what happens when you touch it. It's good writing. It's good animation. It's good action scenes.
This isn't remastered?
It is remastered. Yes. It's on Hulu. It's on Crunchyroll. So yes, there's the older one from the 90s, but then there is a very clean, a very beautiful remastered one. And it's one of the best things I've seen. Just like a fresh new idea.
Because I went back and
quite a
watched the
while.
original, and like they did a really good job. They did justice.
Yeah. So I just think it both times, I think it was just buried because it came out both around the time of Inuyasha. I think Inuyasha just took off harder.
Yeah, Inuyasha. Yeah.
Which I don't think it should have. I like Inuyasha, but like after seeing this, I'm like, man. But does it give a year? So 16 is when this came out, and if you think of like everything else that came out 16,
2016 was a great year for anime.
It was buried. So if you have the ability, I'm telling you, like one that you must watch is definitely Yushiro and Tora. Yushio and Tora. So, I mean, what else can be said, man? I mean, what?
Man, I don't know. That's there's there's a lot of classics that have gone unwatched by good bulk of people, but
I did it. Sorry, I had to look it up real quick. So the same thing that came out when they remastered Yushiro Tora. You got Mob Psycho. You got freaking My Hero.
No, ReZero came out in 2016?
ReZero.
Yeah.
No way.
So those completely wiped it out. You never heard of it because these other ones. Honestly,
There's so many good anime.
I was going to say Mob because a lot of people have never even heard of Mob Psycho.
Mob is.
I didn't hear
Mob
Mob
is
until you guys brought it
insanely
up.
good.
Oh,
Mob
that's
Psycho
how
is
deep.
Oh
insanely
my
good.
gosh! It did
what is
win
it
an
about?
award for like what fight scene of the
What is
year?
Mob Psycho about?
Oh, buddy.
Oh,
buddy. We're gonna
Okay.
extend this because
All
that's
right,
no.
Okay,
let's
it's-
cut the episode and put on Mob
It's,
Psycho.
it's on the list. Just give me a TLDR.
Okay.
Like, what genre is it? Come on, hit me.
It's One
Psychics.
Punch Man, but instead of like instead of like
being strong.
apocalyptic stuff.